Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
then you need Nelson.
Murder suspect Brad Mehn and his attorney Tom Gibson are getting ready for trial to begin on May 1st, starting with jury selection at the Bob Roode Community Center. Judge Kim Wonker believes that they will have a pool of about 200 jurors to choose from. Mehn is the third of the three suspects accused in the grisly murder of 27-year-old Roy Jaggers in Cathedral Canyon on August 1st of 2021. The other two have now pled guilty prior to the trial date. Judge Kim Wonker had several pretrial motions before her in district court this week. The first motion was concerning if there was slight or marginal evidence to bind Brad Mehn up to district court from Pahrump Justice Court for the charge of open murder and kidnapping in the first degree. Attorney Tom Gibson brought this matter before the court because he believes that the late Justice of the Peace, Kent Jasperson, may have cut the preliminary hearing short in 2021. Gibson says he wanted to cross-examine the testimony of the Nye County Sheriff's Office Captain David Berukowitz and others at the hearing back then, but Judge Jasperson believed that the testimony was redundant and asked if the witnesses were bringing new evidence forward or if it was the same. The answer was that it was the same, and the judge said he had enough evidence at that time to bind the case over to district court. Gibson also says that the defendant Mehn was not present when the alleged kidnapping began in Clark County, so he brought this matter before Judge Kim Wonker. Senior Chief Deputy District Attorney Jason Gunnell quotes Nevada Supreme Court law stating that kidnapping ends only when the victim feels that he is free from detention, and that Roy Jaggers' kidnapping began in Clark County and ended in Nye County. Jaggers was never free from detention because he was murdered. The judge found that there is slight or marginal evidence to move in this case for trial in both of those issues brought before the court. She adds that that does not mean that the defendant is guilty, but that there is enough evidence for the defendant to face trial on these charges. Another motion brought before the court was to use recorded testimony from the 911 call for the preliminary hearing from a witness who was camping the night of the murder at Cathedral Canyon. According to the testimony, the witness heard gunshots and saw two men and the body of the deceased. He placed the 911 call. The district attorney's office is unable to locate that witness, and the court said that he is somewhat of a nomad. During his testimony, he was very upset and expressed his reluctance to testify in this case. The DA's office says that they have exhausted every avenue and are unable to find that witness. The court approved using his previous recorded testimony during the trial and the 911 call, but still wants the DA's office to attempt to locate him up to the trial date. Another motion was to use body cam footage from Captain David Berukowitz and transcripts from Berukowitz during the trial. The court decided to watch all of the body cam footage to make a determination. The body cam footage and the transcripts are allowed to be submitted into evidence, and the prosecution will let the court and defense know which ones they would like to use prior to the trial date. The two other defendants in this case have pled guilty to second-degree murder. They are Heather Pate and Kevin Dent. Dent pled guilty to second-degree murder and Pate to second-degree murder and kidnapping in the first degree for the killing of Roy Jaggers on August 1st of 2021. Pate and Dent have admitted to the hours-long torture and shooting death, leaving the man naked and dead at the bottom of the canyon after torturing him at Pate's apartment and then at the Bella Vista shooting range, and then finally Cathedral Canyon, killing him according to the testimony from the two other defendants.